Happy Sunday evening. Welcome to Fasting for Freedom. I'm actually have a presentation going on here, but I wanted to invite you guys on because it's a lot of the information I feel like you should know. And it's the holiday time, so we're putting a lot of food into our systems, and it's about to be the new year. And I feel like I'm doing you guys a disservice by not sharing it with my Instagram family. Okay, so again, I have a presentation I'm doing here, but I'm kind of inviting you guys onto it. So if you want to join the next one, or if you want to be a part of my fasting support group, just comment the word fast and I'll send you the information and reach out to you later if this is something that you feel like you want to do during the New Year's time when that begins. Okay. All right, so welcome to my Fasting for Freedom program informational session. I have been getting a lot of questions about fasting. Like every time I put something out about fasting, a lot of people are drawn to it, but I think a lot of people are scared of it and don't know how to do it, don't know when to do it, don't know what to do. And that's fair because fasting is no joke. This is not something you want to play around with. This is like your life. Okay, so if you have pressed fast on social media, then you probably got my free fasting guide. So definitely take a look at that. That's very helpful. It's a really good resource for helping you to understand what fasting is, the benefits, the time frames according to like your goals, how to start it, how to navigate through it, how to break it, and those type of things. Okay, so if you are here now on my informational session you signed up for, it's more than likely because you are trying to get on the other side of where you are right now, and then you may believe food is kind of holding you up. It's in the way. And if that's the case, you are absolutely correct. And I'm excited to dive into some of the things with you today that will probably blow your mind. And it'll make sense to you too. Okay, so together we're going to explore how fasting can be a powerful tool to transform your health, reset your habits, give you back control of your body, and reconnect you with your body's natural rhythm. Whether you're a beginner or you've tried fasting before, there's always something new to learn and ways to tailor the practice to fit like your lifestyle. So get ready to uncover the truths about fasting, dispel some common myths, release the fears, and leave here with practical insights that can help you take your next steps toward a healthier, more vibrant you. Okay, so where are you tuning in from? So put in the chat where you are from. You can put in the comment section here on live where you guys are from. I am in Bali. So I'm in Bali, Indonesia. So I don't know if you can tell, but it's daylight where I am. It's more than likely evening where you are. The weather is really good. It's during, like right now, it's like raining season. November to like March is like raining season, but it hasn't been raining that much so far. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but the weather is amazing. Okay, California, Tampa, Florida, Los Angeles. Where are you guys from here in the chat? California, New Jersey. Okay, good. So I just sometimes I want to know if it's someone that's like international or foreign. Last call, we had somebody from Africa on there. So okay, all right, so let's get started. So you guys can't see the presentation, but a lot of the things I say is going to make sense to you. All right, so like stick around. I promise you, right now is the time. We're getting into a new year, so these are some of the things that you absolutely need to know so that you can get control of your body. All right. So what brought you here today? And I really want to know, like, why are you interested in fasting? Like I said, I put out a lot of fasting content and it always goes viral. Like people are really, really drawn to fasting for some reason. And it's because either you desire to improve your health, you're trying to lose weight, you want mental clarity, you're just curious about fasting, you're wanting more energy and focus. You may be wanting to seek or break unhealthy habits, or you're just trying to explore like spiritual evolution and growth. So let me know, what are you more drawn to when you hear the word fast? Like what keeps your attention when you hear the word fast? Out of the things that I kind of listed. I know a lot of people want to lose weight. I know for me, it was all of the above. So most people are going to say everything. Like I'm trying to just be a better person, have a better life, and look better, feel better, all of those things. So I totally get that. Curiosity, Some people do it for religion. And we got a lot of bad habits that we want to break. So I totally get that. So I'm a 20-year entrepreneur. All right. So I just want to kind of like give you guys an idea of how I even got into fasting. I'm a 20-year entrepreneur. I'm a single mother of 3. I'm a retired cosmetologist and trichologist. They call me the hair growth capital of the world CEO, right? I've helped thousands of women grow their hair longer than it's ever been before. I'm a former salon owner. I closed my salon down after 10 years in 2023. That's how I kind of ended up here in Bali. And I was also a hair loss clinic owner as well. And I'm a holistic health advocate and coach. So holistic health refers to an approach to healthcare that considers the whole person, like including your physical, mental, emotional, social, and spiritual well-being. A lot of times when we say holistic, nobody really knows what that means. We just kind of associate it with health, but it's way more expansive, okay? It emphasizes, hold on, I got a couple people I got to let into the room here. Okay, there you go. So holistic health emphasizes the interconnectedness of these aspects and aims to restore balance and harmony within the individual, okay? So holistic health practitioners believe that treating the symptoms of a disease without addressing the underlying cause can lead to prolonged and ongoing health problems. So we usually focus on identifying and addressing the root cause of illness. However, in this case, I'm more focused on eliminating the root cause. And fasting is one of those things that does that. So even in my hair business, I've always took this holistic approach to high functioning hair and scalp. And fasting is just one of those methods to help. And I'll explain a little bit about that later. Like, people are always like, how can fasting grow your hair? That doesn't make sense. I'm going to make it make all the sense for you. Okay. So, all right. So my story is just one of the reasons why I'm even up here, spending the time, taking the energy and putting the effort. Hello. I'm gonna go ahead and mute you. Okay. All right. There you go. Hello. Let me know where you guys are from, tuning in from. That's on the call tonight. I also have social media with us tonight as well. Okay, so my story, like, how do I feel like I can sit up here and I can just talk about fasting, something that's so sacred, intimate, and transformational, right? So my story is, I literally almost died. I almost lost my life. Why? Because I was a workaholic. I was a single mother running my own business. I was overeating. I was undereating with no intention. I was junk eating fast food. I would have migraines like 20 times a month. Serious back and shoulder issues, sometimes to where I couldn't even walk some days. My digestive system. There was a time, and this was so long ago, but there was a time I would go 2 weeks without releasing. 2 weeks, and a lot of people are like that. 1 week, 2 weeks, 5 days. All of it is horrible for your body. I wasn't working out. So I wasn't releasing there either. So you use 2 ways to release. You can release through your sweat, or you can release through your stool or your bowel movements or whatever. So I was clogged with all types of toxins, chemicals, drugs that were like stuck in my body. I worked 16-hour days, 6 days a week. So I was a real workaholic. Like, there was really no time to like focus or pay attention to my health, right? So I was very unhappy. Like, this was prior to 2014. I was emotionally unregulated. I was depressed. I had anxiety. I was burnt out. I was out of emotional and physical control. Sometimes I would have to smoke to like even function throughout the day. And again, this was like, before 2014, before my near-death experience. And what do you do when you're like emotionally like unregulated, out of control? A lot of times you're going to eat food because you're emotionally attached to the food. And, but when I almost lost my life in 2015, I had 3 illnesses at one time, like tonsillitis, flu, and pneumonia at the same time. And at that point, something inside of me woke up. Like, I completely transformed. It wasn't just because of like the horrific scare of dying. During that time, I basically fasted on accident because I couldn't eat anything, like nothing, for like 30 days, 40 days. I couldn't even drink anything. I was able to drink in the beginning, like within the first 2 weeks, but after the 2 weeks, that tonsillitis just took over my throat. I couldn't even drink anything. It was horrible, right? And so I fasted on accident. And I had this like brand new awakening, and I didn't even realize it then, but shortly after, I kind of understood the power of fasting. So there were many things that changed in my life from that experience. The way I ate, how I handled stress, just to name a few. But fasting was one of those things that I felt if I could conquer that intentionally, that it would help everything else. You always got to ask yourself, like, we working so hard like robots, like we really killing ourselves. And you got to get to a point where you ask, what is the one thing that I can focus on? Because you are human, right? What is the one thing that I can focus on, that if I focused on that one thing, everything, it will help everything else. Everything would change. And at that point in time, for me, it was fasting and it was breath work. But that's something you kind of learn in my support group, because it really goes hand in hand. It's like the two ways that you can propel your energy, right? Or you get your energy from. So you are not just listening to someone who just likes talking about fasting. No, I embody fasting. I embody it, literally. I've been doing it for 10 years. I've done a 1 day, 7 day dry, 7 day dry fast. So I went 7 days with no water, no food, nothing. Okay. I've done 2 7 day water fasts. So only water, no solid foods. I've done 5 day water fasts. So 5 days, only water. I've done 9 3 day water fasts. So only water, no food for 3 days. I've done like 4 organic fruit and veggie juice fasts, which is not technically a fast, but you're fasting from solid food. So that's helpful as well. And I do daily intermittent fasting, probably about 50% or more. I would say 50% on the lower end throughout the year. Like I basically eat 1 meal a day. I hardly ever eat like 2 meals in a day. Every once in a while I eat 2 meals a day, but I pretty much only eat 1 meal in a day. And then I'll have like a fruit or a smoothie or something like that. So, which can count as a meal. So it depends on the person. So I have put in over 200 hours into reading, studying, practicing, and experiencing fasting. So I know a lot of you guys know me in the hair industry, but I've always tied a holistic approach to hair, because you can't talk about hair without talking about your health. Like, your hair is an outside external manifestation of what's going on in the inside of your body. I would be a fool to talk about hair growth and not talk about your health. Not talk about, are you sleeping well? Are you drinking water? Like, what are you eating? Like, what are your minerals and vitamin levels look like? Or are you deficient? Those type of things, right? So I've actually helped 22 people for fun fast on my own, like individually, just because they were within proximity of me and they were drawn to my practice and they saw the powerful benefits, like with their own eyes, and they were like, I really want to do it. So I've helped 22 people on my own, like just individually fast. But now, because I've gotten so many people asking me, like, okay, how much would you charge to be accountability partner? Like, so many, like it's crazy. It literally told me pretty much that was a part of my assignment. Like, people are drawn to it, but they need help, and I get it, right? Because it could be a scary thing based on what the world has told us, right? So because of this, 70% of America is sick. I don't know if you guys know that or not. I don't know if you know this. 70% of America is sick. All right. That's 210 million out of 300 million Americans, roughly. It may be a little bit more than 300 million, but assuming there's about 300 million on average with people coming and going, 210 million of them are sick. Is that not like crazy? Is that not crazy? So people ask me, why you in Bali? That was enough alone, right? So there are three main obstruction causes. So you need to understand this, because if you are sick, it's going to be from these three main reasons: inflammation, hormones, or your digestive system, like your gut. Three main obstructions are causing 70% of the illnesses. All right. So, stress, trauma, and unresolved emotional blocks lead to chronic inflammation, hormonal imbalances, and overall disease risk. So people think, and this is where the holistic approach comes in, because people think, oh, it's just because I'm eating bad. It's not just because you're eating bad. Like, a lot of us have repressed, suppressed, trapped emotions that we never let out of our body, right? Energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be transferred. So if you're holding in something that's killing you, literally, energetically, it gets stuck in a particular area in your body. And then what does it do with it? It has to do something. It has to be transferred some type of way. So how does it manifest? It manifests in illness or sickness. So it's not just the food. And that's why the holistic approach is so important, because we think we're just physical bodies when we are so much more than physical bodies. And once you understand that, you start to master a life a lot better. You start to be in control of your life a lot better, right? So fasting, so this is how fasting helps. Fasting lowers cortisol. So stress is killing us, right? And cortisol is a stress hormone. And so fasting lowers that. So if you can fast and refrain from eating, you can single-handedly lower your stress. It can improve insulin sensitivities and give your body a reset from constant digestion, which indirectly reduces disease and risk. So this is how it works. So I know you guys can't see this, so hopefully you can follow me. So this is an infographic to show you how this actually works, like how we are out of control with this food, right? So first, we have emotional stress, right? That turns into or triggers hormonal dysregulation, because stress, there is a such thing as a stress hormone. I just gave you an example, cortisol, right? So then that promotes a craving. Stress turns into a hormonal issue that makes you crave drugs that's in your food, right? Basically, right? And then that ends up in disease. So my goal here is to help you heal all of it by eliminating all of it, so you can get in better control of your body and your life, right? And that's through fasting. So I know it can be done because, like I said, I'm a living testament, and I've helped walk quite a few people through this journey, and their life is changed, forever changed. I think once you are able to fast and you kind of activate the genes, the intelligence that your body has, the genes that your body has already, that is unable to really radiate and shine because it's blocked by all the toxins and chemicals and fumes and everything that we are consuming in our body, then your body starts taking control. It literally remembers the fast. And once you start putting stuff in your body that your body doesn't really love, it'll tell you single-handedly, I don't like that. And you see how you get better control, and you don't even have to work as hard to even get to that point. But you just got to get through the fasting period, right? So if you're wondering why I am not implementing, or if you're wondering, like, why am I implementing this, like, fasting for freedom? Because I truly believe that you can free yourself from fasting. It's really a fact to me. It's not even something that I believe. It's something that I know. But my passion for it is, or my mission behind it is that I really want to help end suffering. Once you start fasting, and you fast as much as I do, you start seeing the world differently. And you start seeing the world completely different. And you start seeing a lot of emotional dysregulation. You start seeing a lot of people making decisions that don't really serve them. Like, you see a lot, and you just want everybody to kind of feel and be on the frequency that you are on, right? And so it's not something that I'm forcing anybody to do. This is your decision. Like, whether you do it or not doesn't affect me at all. Like, this is not something that I'm selling. This is not something that I'm like, I'm trying to force you to do. Like, this is something, this is an assignment for me, right? This is me being a servant, right? So I want you guys to experience peace, happy, joy, and to experience an abundant amount of love in your life, like what you truly deserve. Like, you inherited that. But for some reason, we aren't experiencing that because we're out of alignment, right? And I want you to have the power to create the life that you will love through emotional control, regulation, clarity, energy, and purpose. That's why I'm here. I'm not sitting here to be wasting your time. And I'm not sitting here certainly not to be wasting my time. This is something that is transformational. This is the answer to me. I know you guys like to do your detox teas and this and that. Nothing, absolutely nothing is going to transform your entire being like fasting is. Nothing. Okay. So people asked me, somebody was here the other day in Bali visiting. It was like, oh, you know any places that, focus on detox and this? And I'm like, no, because I do the ultimate detox. Fasting is the ultimate detox. And once you can master it, life will forever change for you. Forever change for you. Okay. So fasting for freedom is a tool for liberation, not a simple dietary choice or something you just do, just at church and have no clue like what's happening, right? It's not just about abstaining from food. It's a sacred pause that helps you observe cravings, confront emotional patterns, and restore your body's natural rhythm. Most of us have no control over our own bodies. There is nothing like feeling in control of your own body, heart, and decision making. It's when we are out of control that it causes chaos, anger, depression, anxiety, and so on, right? This is a fact. So here's the problem. And I need y'all to sit down. I need you to take a breath. I need you to open your eyes. I need you to open your ears. You may even need to get like some note in a pen, right? Because we're about to dive deep now. And what I'm about to say, it may be hard for you to receive, but it is a fact, all right? We are addicted to food. We are addicts. We are food addicts, okay? The sooner you can accept that, the sooner you can make changes that would transform your life, right? So, and some of you guys may think that may be a bit dramatic, and I'm here to tell you it's not dramatic at all. And I'm going to prove it to you. We are in a relationship with food, but for many of us, that relationship has come very unhealthy, toxic, compulsive, and out of control. We are addicted to food without even realizing it, caught in cycles of cravings, guilt, and temporary relief. So today I want to talk about why this happens and how we can break free from it, because that's the ultimate goal. We all want to be free. Do we agree? Do we agree that we all want to be free? That's the ultimate goal, right? We already have to fight for our freedom on a day-to-day. But what if it's the food that's in the way? Think about it. What if... I believe that whatever we're here to experience is already written. It's already here, right? It may not have materialized, but it's already here. But why hasn't it materialized yet? We asking the wrong questions. It's not about chasing what it is that you want so desperately. What you want is already here. You wouldn't be here in this timeline if it wasn't, right? You came here to experience something. The question we should be asking is, what is in the way? What is blocking us from experiencing what we are already here to experience? What is in the way? That's the question we should be asking, right? And so, like I said, we already have to fight every day for our freedom, right? And so my question is, what if food is in the way? And if it was managed properly, what would life look like then? Think about it. What would life look like? Okay, so let's start with this. What is food addiction? Because my claim is that we're food addicts. And I know some people are like, oh, that's a bit dramatic. No, it's not. So let's talk about it. Food addiction is a complex behavior pattern in which a person experiences an overwhelming compulsion to eat despite negative consequences. It's not just about a lack of willpower. It's about how our brains and bodies are wired to seek food for comfort, pleasure, or relief. Sometimes in ways that hijacks our natural hunger cues. Okay, that's where the Pavlovian reflexes come in at. Does anybody know what Pavlovian reflexes are? Does anybody know what Pavlovian reflexes are? Let me see. I'm opening up this chat so I can see it. Oh. Pavlovian reflexes is when you are conditioned to do something out of your natural rhythm, basically. So we're conditioned, eat breakfast, eat lunch, eat dinner, without even asking our body, are you even hungry? Why would you eat if your body is telling you that you're not hungry? That's because somebody conditioned you to believe that you should eat and not listen to your body. That's how I know you're not in control of your body. If you can't ask yourself before eating, am I really hungry? You're not in control of your body. Think about it. Think about that. So the ultimate goal is to tune into your body so well that you can actually hear what your body is communicating with you. That's the goal here, okay? So now that we know what food addiction is, why are we addicted to food? Why? 3 reasons, actually 4 reasons. 1, biological wiring. 2, emotional triggers. 3, cultural influence. And 4, convenience, okay? So our brains reward us with dopamine every time we eat something tasty. If you're here, you're not here by mistake. All right, I'm just let you know that right now. If you're here, you're not here by mistake. It will be highly advantageous for your life to stick around, because if you do, you can truly get control over your life. A lot of us are out of control, and I'm about to explain to you exactly why, okay? Our brains reward us with dopamine every time we eat something tasty. Dopamine is a happy hormone that our brain releases. This is an evolutionary mechanism designed to ensure we eat for survival, okay? However, when we consume processed or sugary foods, they release large amounts of dopamine, creating a cycle of craving and reward. Over time, we become conditioned to seek out those feel-good foods even when we're not hungry. Again, Pavlovian reflexes, if you were here to catch that. So food often becomes our coping mechanism. So now we're going into the emotional trigger. I just kind of talked about the biological wiring. Now I'm going into the emotional trigger, and I'm gonna digest this or dissect this a little bit more. Okay, so food often becomes our coping mechanism. Whether we're stressed, anxious, or even bored, food offers temporary relief and distraction. But this relief is fleeting, and the cycle of emotional eating becomes a crutch that prevents us from addressing the underlying emotional issue. So how many of you feel like you turn to food when you are emotional? How many of you turn to food when you're emotional? When you're bored, when you're angry, when you're lonely, when you're sad, and you go get you a cookie, or you go get you some ice cream, or you go get you some chips, knowing that, oh, this is not the most healthiest, but you do it anyway, right? Am I right or am I right? Okay, so cultural or convenience influences. So I'm gonna kind of tackle both of these at one time. So because we don't realize how much our cultural environment plays a role, right? So our culture celebrates food often in excessive or unhealthy ways, right? Social gatherings, celebrations, even stress-relieving habits are all tied to eating. This creates an environment where overconsumption is normalized, making it harder to break free. I'm gonna tell y'all a really quick story, and I really don't like deviating, but it's funny. So I told my last fasting cohort group. So when we talk about cultural influences, I can remember a time, and it wasn't relating to fasting. It was actually when I went plant-based. I can remember a time I was working 16 hours in the salon. I did not eat, but that was not intentional. I did not eat the entire time. There was an event that my sorority sister was throwing, like a conversation and cocktail event, right? So cocktails, and they got all kind of food, but apparently they didn't really have like a lot of veggie options, or probably any veggie options, right? I was starving, and it was like my I would say like my second week, not fifth, because I do have another experience during the 5th week. But this is like my second week after my second, going to my 3rd week, and I'm like pure like plant-based, no meat, no dairy or anything. And I lost control, like cultural influences. Like I looked at these meatballs, like some barbecue meatballs, and I was like, "Oh, this smell good." And I just literally lost control. This was, I don't know, maybe 2015, 16, maybe 16 or 17. And so I ate that meatball, right? And so later on that day, like when I went to sleep, guess what? I had a dream, like it was a dream, and it felt so real, of like giant meatballs in the sky bombing the earth, like bombing the earth. Like that's how I knew. I was like, I'm never letting my environment influence me ever again. Like I need to stand 10 toes down on my boundaries. All right, Abra, I don't know what you need. You need to stop by a gas station, get a banana. You need to make sure you bring some grapes or something from home, or whatever it is that's in my nutritional plan. Like I need to make sure I have that, because I had nothing, and we were just fun, and we were just hanging out, and I straight ate that meatball, and I felt so horrible. Even I felt so convicted, even at the time of eating it. Yes, it tastes good, but I just felt horrible, and I went to sleep and had a whole dream about giant meatballs in the sky bombing the earth. It wasn't just the earth, because I was escaping. I was in the desert. I was in the ocean. It was following me everywhere, right? That's when I knew, oh, nah. I ain't play that. I ain't never touched another piece of meat from that. That was what, almost 10 years ago. I knew then that I can't do it, right? But that's how your cultural environment can really influence you, right? And then convenience, like especially when it comes to fast food, the fourth reason. Most of us don't have time to plan or prepare meals, so we're out here just like winging it. So fast food is our lifesaver, but is it really? Or is it just killing us slowly? I think we all know the answer to this, but yet we still pull up in the fast food line. We all know the answer to this, right? Do you ever ask yourself, why can I not, turn from this, right? Stick with me. So it comes a time where we have to ask ourselves the question, what's more important, our health or convenience? I decided my health when I was on my deathbed. It was a deathbed to me. I was hospitalized for 3 months. We already talked about this earlier. And I haven't touched fast food since then. That was 11 years ago. Now, I hope y'all ready for this info, because I'm not here to sugarcoat anything to make it sound good, because there is nothing good about this except for the fact that you are here now learning how to make good out of it. All right. This is your life. This is your quality of life. And again, I know I can be animation. I'm a speaker. I know how to say things in a way that it digests. I'm like a magnet. I get it. But this is not a game. I'm not doing this to sell you. Whether you do it or not, that's on you. I'm not doing this to sell you anything. Like I'm genuinely, this is really a part of my assignment. I have to let you guys know that it's just so much that I have to let you know. That's why I have to build a presentation around it, right? So there are some things that you cannot control, like most of the food. A lot of people say, oh, we can't really control, what's in the American food. Okay, cool. But there are some things that you can control, like incorporating fasting into your lifestyle to release yourself from the harshness of what the food is doing. So there is no excuse. Excuses are the tools of the incompetent used to build monuments of nothingness and bridges to nowhere. Okay? So there is no excuse. If you're on here now, if you're on this presentation, there is no excuse. Once you know the information, you can't unknow it. Okay? So the point of fasting is really, just to put you on a better course to make better decisions with your food choices, and then watch how that reflects and show up in your life, right? So now that we know what food addiction is, we know what's causing the addiction. Now let's discuss the cycle. Let me put you on mute, Rita. Hey, Rita. You guys follow me, and I'm gonna answer questions, but we still got a little bit more to go. Okay, so we know what food addiction is. We know what's causing addiction. Now let's talk about the cycle of addiction. All right. So what happens is you normally get triggered. So stress, boredom, loneliness, anxiety, habit, right? Then that creates a craving. Okay. The desire to numb the feeling or escape the discomfort. Then the action comes into play. That's when you go reaching for the chips, reaching for the cookies, reaching for the ice cream. Often comfort or junk food that stimulate dopamine. You looking for your next high. Okay? I'm going to just put it the way most people probably wouldn't put it. The action is you're looking for a high to escape whatever the discomfort is, whatever the trigger was, right? That's going to give you a temporary relief. That's going to make you feel real good, right? So you're going to have that satisfaction and that pleasure from the junk that you grab in most cases. But guess what? Guess what comes after that? Guilt or shame. Guilt or shame. Realizing that overeating was not the solution, or eating that junk was not the solution. And then guess what comes after that? It keeps repeating. It keeps repeating. You want to know who else goes through this? Someone on heroin, crack, alcohol. It's all the same. The brain does not know the difference. So when I told you earlier that when you become when you embody fasting, you're a frequent faster, like you start seeing the world differently, right? So an example of this is I have someone here that eats all this junk food, and then you're criticizing about somebody that's on heroin. And to me, there is no difference. So I'm sitting here thinking like, do you know you're an addict? And no judgment zone. It's not in a way of a judgment. It's just something that I know that you can't see. There is no way that you can criticize somebody that's an alcoholic or heroin or crack when you're addicted to food. That's how I see it. Now, it may be on different ends of the spectrum. Like they say, ADHD is on the lower end, autism is on the higher end. It's still on the same spectrum. Being addicted to food and being addicted to heroin or crack is on the same spectrum. Sorry to tell you. It's on the same spectrum. And I'm about to prove it. Okay, because the brain does not know the difference. All right, so the frontal lobe, the front part of your brain right here, the prefrontal cortex is what it's called, is responsible for decision making, impulse control, long-term planning, rational thinking, evaluating consequences. Okay, when it's working well, it helps you pause before acting on a craving or an impulse. It helps you pause before raging out, lashing out. It helps you pause before keying that man car. It helps you pause before losing control on your kids. Like it actually helps you pause the craving. It helps you pause. You may want a cookie, but it helps you pause. Like, no, I'm not going to do that. That's not good, right? Keep following me. When the prefrontal cortex is not working well, several things happen. And this is if you made it here, this is the most important thing that you need to take, because this is why you out of control. And this is why you having a hard time trying to figure out what is going on, what is wrong, okay? Poor impulse control. You may find it hard to resist cravings or temptation, leading to impulsive decisions like overeating or substance abuse. So when your prefrontal cortex is out of control, which means you're eating a whole bunch of junk, you have poor impulse control. It reduces self-awareness. If you want to be free, self-awareness is number one on the list. But if you're eating a whole bunch of junk, you reduce your self-awareness. Okay. You are less aware of the long-term consequences of your actions, making choices that are not aligned with your goal or your values. Number 3, enhance emotional reactivity. Emotional responses become more intense and less regulated, increasing the likelihood of reacting impulsively or out of frustration. This is why we have a lot of people killing people. This is why we have a lot of people harming people. This is why we have a lot of people stealing from people. Okay. Number 4, difficulty with planning. It becomes harder to set goals, delay gratification, or stick to a plan, which can undermine efforts towards healthier habits. Y'all wonder why y'all got ADHD? You can't sit still. You can't focus on one thing. That's why. Increased vulnerability to addiction, because the brain's reward system becomes more dominant when self-control drops. You're more prone to addictive behavior, whether related to food, substance, or other habits. And like cheating, it's no different. Okay. In essence, when the prefrontal cortex is compromised, The braking system that keeps impulse in check weakens, making it much easier to give in to immediate gratification at the expense of long-term well-being or relationships or health. Now, I'm not even trying to be funny, y'all. I have a level of distrust of people because of this. And at the same time, I don't usually judge it either because I know they're not in control. And I don't respond in a way that most people respond to certain things also. Most people could never understand like why I'm so slow to anger, or I usually don't react. And I wasn't always like this. I actually had a serious anger problem. Out of control, a serious out of control anger issue. It's shocking for people to learn that or understand that. Most people call me Gandhi. They just cannot figure out how is it that I just don't allow certain things to get, to get to me. Right? I don't even respond to adversity a lot of times. I'm a bit more on the emotional regulating side because when I started to fast, I started seeing life, the people in it, and the experiences I go through very different than someone who is addicted, right? It's just something you would never have or experience unless you fast, which is why I'm here with you all today. I want you to experience it for yourself and see how much it sets you free. That's why I'm here, y'all. Okay, so we know what food addiction is. We know why we're addicted. We know the cycle of addiction and how our brains are actually controlled by the chemicals and the drugs in the food. So we have a good understanding of that. If you've been sticking with me here, I know my people on here are sticking with me on the presentation on the Zoom. And I know you guys can't see it, but comment fast. I'm sorry, I meant to pin this post. Comment fast if you want to join the next presentation so you can actually get a visual, or you feel like you need support on your fasting journey, okay? So why does this matter? All right. So why did I feel like this, out of all things, was the most important component of fasting you needed to understand? It's because understanding this removes shame. All right. You aren't weak. You aren't weak. You're stuck in a biochemical loop. And the only thing that can get you out of it is your quality of emotions, which help fuel your awareness and your decision making. Okay. So understanding all of the things that I've really just discussed to you, especially like how all the drugs and the chemicals in the food actually affect your brain, and how it affects your emotions and how you show up in the world. You aren't weak. Like I said, you're just stuck in a biochemical loop. And this knowledge empowers you to see food addiction as a real thing, recognize triggers so you can be in better control and how you navigate after your trigger, and to use tools like fasting, mindfulness, and emotional healing to regain control. Okay. So it's really important to know that your emotions determine your quality of life. So if you want your life to be better, less stressful, you have to improve how you experience your emotions. Our emotional blocks and stress is the unseen force behind our relationship with food. More than likely, if you are out of control and extremely addicted to food in a way that it's harming you, and you can actually see that it's harming you, and but you still do it anyway, it's because it's something emotionally that you're holding on that you need to release. And that's really something I focus on in my fasting support group. We're not just like walking through a fast. No. We have to release and remove what got you there in the first place, right? Again, our relationship with food is often deeply tied to our emotional state. When we don't know how to deal with stress or difficult emotions, food can become a soothing balm. But the problem is food never truly addresses the root cause. It's a temporary distraction from deeper emotional blocks. These unresolved feelings pile up over time and manifest as food cravings or emotional eating. All right. So again, you're not weak. You're just out of control. Right. So this is how fasting breaks the cycle. All right. First, it's going to give you a physical reset. Fasting allows the digestive system to rest, reducing the habitual overconsumption and resetting insulin levels. You guys don't know this, but understanding insulin is the most important thing to know about when it comes to eating properly. It's an entirely different topic, but it hugely contributes to high sickness rates in America. So in my program, when Breaking the Fast, we go over that. And we're going to learn how to properly break it to get the most benefit and to not erase all of the hard work that was done. But anywho, the second way fasting breaks the cycle is emotional awareness. So these are like some of the major benefits, foundational benefits that you get when you actually decide to fast and commit to it. So without food to distract us, fasting brings clarity to our emotions. This gives us the chance to confront emotional triggers and develop healthier coping mechanisms. Okay. And then the third way is a mental shift. Fasting teaches us discipline and patience, breaking the cycle of instant gratification and allowing us to regain control over the choices that we are making, not just with food, but with everything. So now let's talk about like the science and the benefit of fasting. So we have three main areas: the brain, the body, and then your spirit or your life, depending on where you are. Okay. So as we go through this briefly, let me know which one is like your main focus. I know all of it is your main focus. And when you fast, it's going to help everything. But I'm asking this because it's very important to really understand your why when you go into fast. It's almost like entrepreneurship. If you do not have a why for why you're going into entrepreneurship, you're going to fail. You need to know your why. Your why is like your foundation. We too focus on the how. The why is most important because it's driving everything, okay? Everything. So never ever jump into a fast and don't know why you are fasting, all right? So the brain, when you fast, you get sharper focus, mental clarity, mood stability, and some of you guys may have never even heard of this, right? But it's called pineal gland decalcification. And stick around because this is very, very important, especially when it comes to your spirituality and the way that you connect and you get downloads and intuition and things like that. Stick around because it's also tied to the spiritual life as well. So with your body, natural weight balance, reduced inflammation, digestive reset, hormonal reset, cellular repair. Like you can literally change your DNA literally change your DNA with fasting. Okay. And then spirit or life. So emotional release, more energy, deeper connection, and purpose. All right. So most of us have no idea why we are here. Fasting helps me connect with my soul and my soul assignment. Like I know why I'm here. I know what I'm here to do and why I had to experience everything that I went through. That's a level of enlightenment I really want to get you all to. Like that's really the purpose. That's what I feel like is the foundation to really helping to end suffering. And let's be clear. I want us to understand like what suffering is, okay? Because you have pain and you have suffering. Pain is the inevitable, right? It's when our model of the world is our life experience. Like what we see is not matching up with the model of our model of the world, right? When the world is not going the way we feel like it should go, that's pain. Anytime we experience pain, it's because something is not going the way we thought it should go. That's normal. That actually can be helpful. That can propel you. Suffering is when things that are going on in the world is not matching up with our model of the world, how we feel like it should be going, and we feel powerless to change it. That's when suffering plays a role, right? And the reason why you feel powerless is not that it's not that you don't have the power to change it. It's just that you feel it. Food is playing a major role in that. And the people that are at the top know that. Okay. I want to be very clear on that, right? So it's two very important benefits I want you to remember that also plays a major role when it comes to fasting. This is more on a deeper level, and I contemplated if I wanted to even share it or not because it's really ancient wisdom, and I'm a student of ancient wisdom. And I also thought about it, like the time also, but I'm going to share at least one with you because it gives a deeper meaning to the why to fasting. Okay, so epigenetics. So I don't know if you guys ever heard of epigenetics. Do you know what epigenetics is? Does anybody know what epigenetics is? So when we talk about epigenetics, It refers to the modification that turns genes on or off, affecting how cells read and use genetic information. So oftentimes a lot of, like a lot of these doctors and a lot of these people in the like westernized health industry would tell you, oh, your mother has cancer, so you're going to have cancer. Your mother can absolutely pass a cancerous cell down to you. So it's a gun at your head, but your lifestyles will actually pull the trigger. So don't ever allow this westernized health industry make you feel like just because your family is sick, that it's just in the cards for you to be sick. That's not true. It's not true. Okay. So in other words, these are genes that you inherit from your family before you. The impact on health is that epigenetics plays a role in development, aging, and disease like cancer, mental health disorders, and metabolic conditions. So you can absolutely pass down trash cells to your kids from the decisions that you make with your food. And absolutely, yes, you inherited some very trash-like cells from your parents and their parents and their parents. But that does not determine your life. Okay, your lifestyle does. So I want to share this rat study with you that was done at Columbia University by a neuroscience named Dr. Brian Diaz. It was published in 2018, so you can go see for yourself. So it's just fascinating. So there was a rat that they had, and they put the rat in a cage or a box or whatever, and they put cherry blossom so that the rat can like kind of inhale the aroma, right? And they shocked it with like a electric, it wasn't like intense. It was just a small shock, boom. But the rat probably thought it was major pain, right? Instantly, the rat was like terrified. It didn't want to go by the cherry blossom anymore because it associated the pain with the cherry blossom, right? This is where it gets crazy. That rat had children. That rat's children had children. That rat's children had children, all the way down to 14 descendants. All the way down to the 14th descendant. They took the children of that original rat that was shocked under that cherry blossom smell. They took all the children and they put it up against a cherry blossom. They did not shock these rats. They only shocked the first one. So the first one developed this trauma that was associated with this smell of the cherry blossom. And 14 children from that one rat, generations, these are generations, okay? They put up against the cherry blossom and they had a traumatic response to it. In other words, the trauma from that original rat, that rat passed down traumatic emotional cells to 14 generations down of descendants. By the 15th one rat no longer had the reaction to the smell. So we're talking about food here, but this is much bigger. You're not only having to deal with all of the crap chaos that you have to deal with that you're creating in your life right now. You got to deal with the pain and the trauma and the fears from your mother and your dad, from their mother and their dad, from their mother and their dad. Like, this is a real thing. And you wonder why life be really hard sometimes. But guess what? Fasting clears all of that. It's the only thing. I don't care about no tea. I don't care about no detox. I don't care about none of that. Fasting, going without food, is the only thing that can give you the foundation to release all of it. And it may not be necessarily in the day, right? Because this work is this is work, right? Healing is work. It takes work. It doesn't just happen in a day. You didn't carry all this stuff with you for 30 years, 20 years, 40 years, and think that you're just going to wake up the next day and it's all going to be gone. That's not how that works, okay? But you got to start thinking about what are the things that you can do that will help support the journey, that will help support the evolution. You cannot do it without fasting. I don't care what nobody says. You can't do it without fasting, okay? So I don't have much time to really go into like the pineal gland, but know you have a small peanut-sized gland in the back of your head, and although it's very tiny, It's very, very, very powerful when it comes to your spirit and the way you connect and the way you hear. Because a lot of us are blind and we can't hear and we can't see and we can't feel. That's a bad place to be in, right? So, and most of our pineal glands are like decalcified, meaning they're blocked from heavy metals, from artificial additives and preservatives, processed food and sugar, pesticides, fluoride. This is why we can't hear. This is why we can't see. This is why we're not getting the downloads we need. We looking for everybody else for the answer. We getting the answers. We can't hear it. We can't see it. Part of the reason because that pineal gland is decalcified. Okay. What is the one thing that can decalcify your pineal gland? Fasting. There's actually some breath work that can decalcify your pineal gland as well, right? But if you connect it and tie it in with fasting, magic. And that's what I actually do in my program because this is something that I know, right? So we'll talk more about this, like, in my program if you decide to join. So let's talk about that now. So my Fasting for Freedom program is going to integrate like 3 types of fasting: intermittent fasting, 24-hour fasting, and an extended fast for 3 days with the option to extend to 5 based on reports and like personal feelings. So there's a lot of things that I get from you guys during the process. Like I said, it isn't about, it's not about pushing the body recklessly. It's about choosing a level that fits you and your need and listening to your body. Okay. So I know you guys can't see this graph, but it's broken down into the focus of what you would like to achieve from your fast according to the timing, right? So if your goal is to improve your gut function, then you have to go at the very least 24 hours without eating. So if anybody on here has a gut issue, most of us do, you have to go at least 24 hours without eating. That's going to regenerate stem cells in your gut. It's going to improve your microbiome. It's going to improve brain healing because the gut is the second brain. Okay. It's going to improve any autoimmune issues that you have just from going 24 hours without eating. Okay. If your goal is to reduce inflammation or pain in your body, you want to go at least 13 to 15 hours, at least, without eating. This is going to produce human growth hormones. When we talk about hair growth, if anybody on here is losing hair or has lost hair or got bald spots or feel like your hair isn't growing or your skin is, you have acne or inflammation, bumps, red, bumps on your face, on your body. 13 to 15 hours without eating food. Often. Not just one day. One day is helpful, but it's not just going to take one day to kind of transform your body, right? Human growth hormones from that reduces inflammation. Fat burning begins. Increased ketones. Ketones, when you start releasing ketones look for all the toxins and harmful foreign things that don't belong in your body. Parasites and anything in your body that does not belong, that's ultimately going to harm your body. Once your body starts releasing ketones is like the army. It's getting rid of all of it. And the longer you fast, the more you get rid of. Okay. And that improves your energy level and focus as well. If your goal is to burn fat, you want to go at least 36 hours without eating food. 36 hours. That's reduce your glucose that's stored, reduce your insulin that is stored. It increase fat burning. It detoxifies your fat cells. And it helps with anti-aging. It helps to keep you looking young. 36 hours. Okay. If you are having some disease or illness issues and you want to improve your immune system, that will be at least 3 days of fasting. 3 days on a water fast. That's where you reach peak autophagy. Autophagy is when like your cells are like just renewed, completely renewed, right? It releases stem cells. Stem cell. When you talk about stem cells, it's the rejuvenation and the renewal of your cells. This is what I mean when we talk about like being able to change your DNA. No juices. No juices. No juices. All water. It helps with your bones, and it really does accelerate your healing. When I'm sick, there was a time here in Bali where I got an ear infection. I had never had an ear infection before. And I went 3 days without eating. I did a 3-day water fast because this is I already know. If I got a pain in my body or if I hurt myself, I'm going to fast. If I feel like sickness is coming on, your body's going to fast anyway. Y'all wonder why you don't have an appetite when you're sick, but yet you still force yourself to eat? It's because your body is saying, hey, it's time for me to take over. You've done enough. It's time for me to take over. But yet we still put food in our body when our body is clearly trying to let you know that I'm taking over. Okay. We think it's, I'm so sick. I ain't got no appetite. Life is ended. No, that's your body waking up and telling you, we don't need food right now. Let me do my job. I can't do my job if you keep putting junk inside of me. Okay. So that's kind of like, how that works. So anything after 3 days, it starts to compound. But at the 3-day mark, you have achieved a great deal of healing and transformation. All right. So if you commented fast, then you get my fasting guide. Fasting is not something that you just do. Okay. If you're doing it on your own, you don't just do a fast. It can actually be really dangerous sometimes if you don't really know what you're doing. Like, not like a 24-hour fast, not like a 13, 15-hour fast, not 36 hours, nothing like that. But when you're doing extended fasts, there's a certain time that you want to do that. Like with women, you want to do it like more so within the first, day to 10 days, maybe even up to 14 days of your menstrual. There's a reason for that. Hormonally, it's just more supportive. There's certain things that you want to do when you go into a fast. Like, it hurts. It's harder if you just coming straight from junk into a fast. No, there's certain things that you want to avoid when you're fasting. I talk about all of these in my fasting guide. Just comment fast. If you're on here now, you probably already have that. So always revert, back to that. There's a lot of information in there. I give resources, videos, YouTube videos that you can watch from doctors. Y'all crazy about doctors. So I got only doctors, YouTube videos and resources that I follow and I've learned a lot from. But it's something that you can do it. I know the world has told us that if you go without eating, we die. That's not true. And you can actually extend your life if you do it the right way. Okay. Okay. So here's how my program works. All right. So it's like a 7-day container, right? So I'm with you for 7 days, right? And so that doesn't mean that you do a 7-day water fast. That's not what that means. Okay. So based on the enrollment form that you guys fill out, you choose your fasting level. So it could be intermittent fasting. So I help you choose it, right? So like my last group, we had a lot of illness in my last group. So we did more of like a 24-hour fast. So they had 1 meal a day. It was very structured. There was a lot of things that I monitored that they had to put in the group chat every day. It was like a system. It was like a routine. They knew that they had to do it. But you could do intermittent fast, 24-hour fast, 3-day, 5-day, 7-day. It just depends on whether or not you're a beginner, you're intermediate, you're a master, and you just want to kind of be in a support group. It just kind of depends on where you are. But usually there's questions that I ask on the enrollment form. And so based on that and based on the collective, that's kind of how I decide what we do. And I try to get everybody doing the same thing. That's how it's been so far. But like I said, if we have a bunch of beginners, but we have 2 people that are experienced in it, then I may divide it up. Right. So we do live meetings. We usually do one in the beginning, one in the middle, and one in the end. And I can tell you right now, my last fasting group, when they first started, it's amazing. I'm actually going to put some videos and stuff together about like their response to how you feeling? Like the first day, they're like anxious, nervous, a little scared, but I feel comfortable that I'm here, And then the next meeting, the meeting in the middle, they like, I feel amazing. Like, this is like, I can't believe I'm doing this. Like, oh my God, I feel great. I lost weight. I'm so clear. I got some energy. Total opposite in just 3 days. And that wasn't even like an all water fast. This is just eating one meal a day. Now, the meal is structured. So we talk about the meal too, but this just from eating one meal a day. 24-hour fasting, 23-hour fasting, basically, right? Total change, right? I can't wait to put that together, right? So there's daily guidance, and I put you guys in a Telegram group. So there's check-ins, there's prompts, there's motivation. Any questions that you ask, I usually answer those. And it's really good that you ask questions because somebody else may be thinking it, but didn't ask it. So it can really help everybody else. There's heart rate tracking. I kind of teach you how to do that. There's ketone level checks. If we're doing extended fasting. And I told you about ketones and what that is. Ketones like wipe out. Once your body start showing levels of ketones that you have that present in your body, you know that the junk in your body is being killed and destroyed and dissolved, right? So that's really like the goal. You kind of want to get to a point where like you're releasing ketones. And then we do breath work and journaling for emotional clarity. So this whole presentation has been talking about fasting, but you notice how I talked about emotions with it because emotions determine your quality of life. And you can't do one without the other. It doesn't serve a purpose to do that. You have to go in, you have to figure out, okay, what got me here in the first place? So that's what we do, and that's what we kind of work through. And I teach you breath work, which is very, very helpful because when you're fasting, you got to think, especially if you're doing it for the first time, your body is working hard to get rid of years worth of neglect and abandonment. Okay? And a lot of people say, oh, can we work out? I do not suggest working out. I mean, you could do light walking, like body weights and stuff like that, like lifting your own bodies, like, what do they call it? Plyometrics and stuff like that. But like, no, not heavy lifting and heavy working out and sweating because your body's already working hard enough. You will notice that your heart rate kind of goes up a little bit. It usually goes up. And then it start working its way down once it's gotten most of the work done, right? So this is why I ask for heart rate, and I do teach you guys how to track that. And the breath work helps to, I teach you guys down regulating diaphragmatic breath work. Very simple, very easy. You only need to do 2 minutes of it, and it can change your whole life. But it helps to calm everything down. It calms your heart, and because it calms your heart, it calms your blood flow. And because it calms your blood flow, if you got if your heart is pumping hard and you got a ton of blood flowing, all of that's flowing through your brain. And then you wonder why you have monkey brain. But when you calm the heart, you calm the blood flow, and you don't have as much blood working to the brain, you have better control. You can calm everything down. And that really, really helps and goes hand in hand with the fasting journey. So usually every day I'll solicit like heart rate, your energy level. You'll have a journal prompt every day, and I expect you to do it because there's a reason why we're doing it. Okay. And hydration level. Water is very, very important. And it's certain things that I tell you to put in your water also to kind of help with minerals. And then again, like, breath work, stuff that we have. So it's, in terms of support and safety, I will be guiding you into the fast and how to break the fast safely, how to properly prepare for the fast, navigating while fasting to get the most out of it, how to properly break the fast to get the most out of it. Because sometimes people will break a fast and you will completely eliminate everything that you just did. Do you know how hard it is? Do you know how big of an accomplishment it is to fast? Majority of the people in the world are not fasting. If you can get through a fast, you have literally set yourself apart from the world. There are more people that are not fasting than there are. Trust me. Right? That's a huge accomplishment. Because it's the one thing that when you do that one thing, it's going to propel everything else. Right? So you're not doing this alone. You'll have the structure, the check-ins, the motivation, and the accountability. So you guys can't see this right now, but my family here on the Zoom call can see this. I just kind of wanted to share. I kind of ran into this while I was putting on this transformation. I don't know if you guys can see it. I don't know. You guys can't see it. The transformation, it wasn't just physical, it was energetical as well. So just energetically, you could just see like the smile on like the type of, and I have a lot of pictures of me smiling a certain way. And when I started my fasting journey, my smile changed. It was so much more genuine and lit up. And you could tell like my face looked puffy. And this is me at a smaller weight, but I still look puffy, right? And in this picture is just very, you could tell there's like really no information, right? And then obviously physically, I have 3 kids. I have 3 kids, y'all. 3. 20, 16, 4. I don't look like I have 3 kids. Nobody, if I don't ever tell people, they be like, 20, 16, 4. People are always shocked. If I never tell you, you would never know. I like it that way. That's intentional. Why should I have to carry all of this on me? Like, you know how much weight I put on? 60 pounds, 80 pounds with all of my kids. 60, 80 pounds with all of my kids. All of them. Who about to carry that around? Not me. And when I had my daughter, so 2 things about my daughter. So I have my 20-year-old and my 16-year-old, right? I didn't fast because I was younger when I had them. I started fasting after them. The difference between my sons and my daughter has never been sick. She's 4. She just got COVID because we're in Bali and we're in an international school. So everybody is coming from everywhere. Everybody on the airplanes, right? Coming from everywhere. Who knows who bringing what, right? So she just got COVID. Do you think she was like, no, hardly affected? She had a fever, maybe not even for a whole day. She had a fever in the middle of the night for like 2 hours. Never been sick. My sons were hospitalized, had RSVP, had to have surgery on their intestines, was throwing up. I'm talking about from here, like total difference. I don't know what kind of immune system she got, but it's strong and I like it that way. And it was intentional. That wasn't by accident. I knew this. I hadn't experienced it myself, but I knew that that's how that would go. And that was the reason why I was able, I took control of my life and I empowered myself to develop nice, healthy, rejuvenated cells that I could pass down to my daughter. And now that I know what fasting does, I taught my sons how to fast because now I feel bad. Man, I gave y'all some horrible cells. Y'all got to learn how to fast. And now my sons fast on their own. And I love that for them because now that they have that, once you see it, once you experience it, you can never go back, right? So this is something they're going to pass down to their children. So you talk about changing, breaking generational curses. This is one of the major ways that you do that, right? So it's very important that you grasp that why to your fasting. To me, I just see myself as a certain type of matriarch. I see myself as a certain type of matriarch. I want to look at my kids. I want to look at my grandkids. I want to be proud. I want to be very, very proud, and not just with money. You know what I'm saying? I want to be like, man, like the choices I made 30 years ago, 40 years ago is why you're thriving today. Everybody doesn't care about that. I care about legacy. That's just me. Okay. So, with all of that said, why is that up there like that? Imagine the choices you'll make, the clarity you'll have, and the vitality like you will feel if you were able to remove the toxins out your body, the parasites out your body, the inflammation out your body, the unused fat cells out your body, the used fat cells out of your body. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you were able to get that energy, you know how sad it can be sometimes, like when you want to keep up with certain people like family or kids and it's like, I am just tired. like you just shut down. I was that person. You didn't see me anywhere. You never saw me because I was just too tired, right? So just imagine what life would be like for you. And any types of we're always manifesting. It's just whether or not you manifesting what you don't want or you manifesting what you do want, right? It's easy to manifest what you don't want. It's easy to think negative. That's an easy thing. We're doing that all day, every day. It's harder to really stop and be really intentional about your belief system. Be really intentional about your conviction, like how you feel about what you feel like you believe. And to be very intentional to take aligned action. It's the only 3 ways to really create what it is that you really want to experience in your life. Without all 3, you're going to fall behind. Without all 3, you're missing the mark. You have to think it / believe it. You have to feel it. And you have to take aligned action. Not any action. Aligned action. Okay? And then you can create whatever it is that you want in your life. So I don't care if you got $1 in your bank account today. If you truly believe that that's your reality, then that's exactly what you're going to be experiencing. And this is somebody that's not, and you know how some people tell you things and it's like, oh, how do you know? We will have to do a whole other live for me to be able to tell you this. I don't care what I'm experiencing, what I'm going through. It doesn't matter. I'm still going to believe the highest for my life. I'm still going to be that person. I'm still going to be that girl. I don't care what I'm going through. A lot of you guys know my business was probably stolen. Can you tell? I'm radiating even higher. Okay? That's a whole legal issue that I have to deal with and all the effects and how it's affecting my life and all of that. Do you think I'm in that frequency? No. I'm in the frequency of somebody who already got through it. Already won, already moved on, already built something. I don't sit in that, right? So when I ask you to imagine the choices you can make, the clarity you have, the energy, the vitality you have, the way you look, the way you feel, I mean that. Literally imagine it. If you can't imagine it, you can't get it. You're not going to get it. You're not going to even be able to touch it, even though it could be sitting right here next to you. It's repelling. It's bouncing off your energy because you won't welcome it in. Okay? So now, we're kind of here I'm in here with I got you guys on here, Instagram, but I'm here on a Zoom call, actually with people who signed up for the presentation. So I know you guys are like listening to me talk, but they are listening to me talk and they actually have something to look at, which makes it a lot more effective and productive. So comment fast if you think you may want to join the next one, or if you think you may want to get in on the next cohort for the New Year's. Like after the New Year, we are not going, I'm telling you right now, we are not going into this New Year's on this same frequency. Not if you with me. Not if you with me. Not if you within proximity of me. Okay? So yes, I'm guiding and I'm navigating this fasting journey. I've already done it. With the group. My last group, it was magical. I haven't been able to put... I actually was going to have them come on here. But I thought it would take like a lot more time. So we may do a live. We may do a live with a few of the people that did the fasting group last time, but we're not going into the new year taking this old. We can't build a new house on old structure. It can't be done. So the goal is to create some freedom by fasting and releasing the things that no longer serve us. And that's going to become clear in your fast. That's the goal. The goal is for all of that to become clear in your fast. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't even want to glamorize it. When you fast, you transcend, you transmute, right? So a lot of the things that you may have attracted or experienced or indulged in while you were here, there may be a disconnection. There may be a disconnection. So this is a part of a healing journey. If you're not ready to heal, if you're not ready to get on the other side of where you are right now, this is not for you. This is not for you, because you're going to become, right now you blind. You're going to be able to see much more clear. And what you see may surprise you, is what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. What you see may surprise you. It's your journey. I don't know. I'm just here to be a vessel, to help you carry it out so you feel safe. I'm here to create a safe environment for you to connect. Okay? That's just, I'm just a vessel. Okay? Nothing more, nothing less than that. All right? But I don't want to glamorize this. You know, my last cohort, they did pretty good. Was it challenging? It may have been challenging a little bit here and there, but they did pretty good. But they also did a 24-hour fast for 7 days, which is impressive. 7 days, they ate 1 meal a day. That was impressive. I'm actually shocked, especially one particular person that was on there who was terrified. She did it, and she did it effortlessly, right? But this cohort may be more of an extended fast. I don't know. It really just depends on the collective. Like if I have a lot of people who are sick or who are ill, who are on medication, you know, and then I have more than I have people who are not, then I don't know. We'll see. So IG, I'm actually hopping off now, because now I'm about to kind of go more into the program and getting people signed up. But if you comment fast, this is recorded. I can send you a replay if you care to watch. Because you were on here, if you were on here the entire time, you don't necessarily have to watch the presentation, but you can go to the end. And if it's something that you want to sign up for because it's going to be in January, then you can do that. Okay. So peace, love, and blessings. I'm glad that you guys spent the time with me. Hopefully you learned something. If you have any questions, let me know. Make sure you comment fast, and I'll make sure I get like the replay to you so you can see the presentation. Bye, everybody. Have a great evening.